Thus, Chapter 17 of the Pakistan Penal Code deals with offences against property. It covers a wide range of crimes such as theft, extortion, robbery, dacoity, criminal misappropriation, criminal breach of trust, and cheating. Each offence is defined along with its corresponding punishment to ensure protection of property rights. Key sections. Section 378, Theft. Theft is defined as taking any movable property dishonestly out of the possession of another person without their consent. Punishment: imprisonment of up to 3 years or a fine or both. Section 383, Existe cortes ante trofidiciti. Extortion. Extortion involves intentionally putting someone in fear of injury and dishonestly inducing them to deliver property or valuable security. Punishment: imprisonment of up to 3 years or a fine or both. Section 390, Boasikisustait, Robbery. Robbery is defined as theft or extortion committed by causing fear of death, grievous hurt, or wrongful restraint. The punishment for such an act is imprisonment of up to 10 years and a fine. Section 391, Dacoity. Dacoity is robbery committed by 5 or more persons. The punishment for dacoity is imprisonment for life or rigorous imprisonment for up to 10 years and a fine. Section 403, Criminal misappropriation of property. This involves dishonestly misappropriating or converting someone's property to one's own use. The punishment can be imprisonment of up to 2 years or a fine or both. Section 406, Criminal breach of trust. Criminal breach of trust occurs when a person entrusted with property dishonestly misappropriates it or uses it in violation of the trust. Punishment: imprisonment of up to 7 years or a fine or both. Section 415, Cheating. Cheating is defined as deceiving someone fraudulently or dishonestly to deliver property or alter a document to their disadvantage. Punishment: imprisonment of up to 3 years or a fine or both. Questions and answers. So, what is the difference between theft and robbery under the Pakistan Penal Code? Well, let's break it down. Theft, as defined under Section 378, involves dishonestly taking movable property out of someone's possession without their consent. On the other hand, robbery under Section 390 involves theft or extortion, but it's committed by causing fear of death, injury, or restraint. Essentially, robbery is an aggravated form of theft or extortion with added force or fear. Now, you might be wondering, what constitutes dacoity and how is it different from robbery? Dacoity, as per Section 391, is robbery committed by 5 or more persons. The key difference here is that robbery can be committed by 1 or more individuals, but dacoity requires at least 5 offenders acting together. Moving on, what exactly is criminal misappropriation of property? Criminal misappropriation under Section 403 occurs when a person dishonestly misappropriates or converts another person's property for their own use. This offense typically involves the unlawful use of property that initially came into the possession of the offender lawfully. So, what is the punishment for criminal breach of trust under the Pakistan Penal Code? Well, according to Section 406, criminal breach of trust is punishable by imprisonment of up to 7 years or a fine or both. This applies when someone entrusted with property misuses it dishonestly. Now let's talk about how extortion is different from theft. Extortion, as defined in section 383, involves intentionally putting someone in fear of injury to induce them to deliver property. On the other hand, theft under section 378 involves dishonestly taking property out of someone's possession without their consent. The key difference here is that extortion requires inducing fear to obtain property, while theft does not. Moving on, what are the essential elements of the offense of cheating under the Pakistan Penal Code? Under section 415, the essential elements of cheating are: first, deception by the offender; second, inducing the victim to deliver property or alter or omit any part of a valuable document; and third, dishonest or fraudulent intent on the part of the offender. Can a person be charged with both theft and extortion? Well, no, a person cannot be charged with both theft and extortion for the same act because these are distinct offenses. Theft involves taking property without consent, while extortion involves obtaining property through fear or coercion. What is the punishment for robbery under section 390 of PPC? The punishment for robbery under section 390 is imprisonment of up to 10 years and a fine. If the robbery results in grievous hurt or death, the punishment may increase depending on the severity of the crime. How does the law treat habitual offenders in dacoity cases? Habitual offenders involved in dacoity face stricter punishments under the law, and the courts often impose life imprisonment or extended periods of rigorous imprisonment due to the organized nature of the crime. What is meant by criminal breach of trust by a public servant? Well, under section 409, if a public servant entrusted with property dishonestly misappropriates or converts it to their own use, it constitutes criminal breach of trust. The punishment for this offense can extend to life imprisonment, along with a fine reflecting the higher degree of responsibility held by public officials. What distinguishes cheating from criminal breach of trust? Cheating under section 415 involves deceiving someone to deliver property or alter a document. On the other hand, criminal breach of trust, covered under section 406, involves misappropriating property entrusted to someone. The key difference lies in deception, which is cheating, versus breach of trust. What punishment does a person face for criminal misappropriation of property? According to section 403, the punishment for criminal misappropriation of property is imprisonment of up to 2 years, or a fine, or both. Can an act of robbery also be classified as extortion? Well, yes, an act of robbery can also be classified as extortion if the offender puts the victim in fear of injury or death to obtain property. However, robbery includes the additional element of violence or imminent threat, making it more severe. How is punishment determined for habitual criminals under the Pakistan Penal Code for property-related offences? Habitual criminals committing property-related offences face enhanced punishments under the PPC. For instance, repeat offenders in robbery or dacoity cases may receive life imprisonment due to the severity and repetitive nature of the crime. What is meant by cheating by personation? Cheating by personation occurs when an individual fraudulently represents themselves as another person to deceive someone, as outlined in section 416 of the PPC. What are the key elements required to prove theft under section Section 378. The key elements to prove theft are 1. Dishonest intention to take property. 2. The property must be movable. 3. The property must be taken without consent. And 4. The property must be taken out of the possession of another. How does the PPC handle cases where multiple people commit a theft together? When multiple people commit a theft together, it can be treated as robbery or dacoity depending on the circumstances. If 5 or more individuals are involved, it is considered dacoity under Section 391. The 17 questions and answers provide a foundational understanding of Chapter 17 of the Pakistan Penal Code, focusing on offences against property. This guide can assist students and professionals in preparing for examinations and understanding key legal distinctions in property crimes.